to say hello.
Good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Hello.
So is it getting cold there? How is it?
Yes, it got iced out. Last 6 days I have not stepped out of the house. Then I had a bad viral. My voice got lost.
Oh man. Okay.
I don't know what it was.
Which part
Very
of Here in which part of US?
It's also very cold.
Bangalore was cold, yes, last week, yes.
Yeah.
Almost all over India, the winter has come early.
Probably.
And it is a colder winter also. It's colder.
Hmm.
Quite cold.
This was very bad for me for last 1 week.
Oh, okay.
I've recovered now.
People are changed, so weather is changed too.
Pardon me?
People are changed, so weather is changed.
Yes,
Weather
yes.
change. A good one. This, let's go with the grid mode.
Ishvara says that if you want to change, I'll change too.
I agree.
Namaste, everyone. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning.
Good evening. Depending on
Morning,
where you are.
Margie.
Namaste. Namaste. We don't have the services of Purna today, so I'll be doing the prayer honors. I'm sure all of you are waiting with bated breath to enjoy my musical talents.
Yeah.
To enjoy or evaluate my musical talents.
Namaste, Kumar.
Namaste, namaste, Meena. Okay. So let's get started. Please take a deep breath. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचि मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोतं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिं प्रणतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषादारं शङ्खचक्रधारिणम् सहस्रं शिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं श्रीमते अनन्ताय Nagarajaya Namo Namaha. Everyone, those who came a little late. Purna is not today. That's why I had to render the prayer. And she's not here to chant sutras either. So I don't want to trouble you anymore with my musical talent. So let's jump right into the sutras. Let me share the screen. Kindly mute your microphones. Constantly hearing doorbell. So if you are the one, please mute it. Mm. 240. That's where we ended last week. So we started at 233. No, 240.
39 to
239 we ended.
we did
233 to 239.
Started at 240. We finished at 239. We started at 240
that's right.
last week, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 33 to 39. Yeah.
33 to 39 we did last week. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now I recall. I noted it down here already. So we started with this sutra on Pratipaksha Bhavanam. So what are the things that prevent us from doing the yama and niyama or following yama and niyama? So when we have these obstacles, we have to do this Pratipaksha Bhavana, meaning we bring in this opposite kind of thoughts. So if I don't feel like doing a particular yama, then I must look inwards and see what is preventing me from doing this. Maybe my laziness, maybe my priority is not right, maybe my attachment to something else, maybe my desire to do, desire to be in some other place, those kinds of things. So we have to then oppose them by opposite thoughts, saying that, hey, no, I'm going to keep this as top priority, irrespective of what happens. Even if there are guests at home, I'm going to be doing this. Even if there is a very important program, an entertaining program, for this hour and a half or 2 hours, I'm going to cut myself off and I'm going to focus on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Those kinds of things, those kinds of arguments. But why is that we are like that? Why is that these things happen to us? Is what is covered in Sutra 34. So what we do is by logically, we make this argument that is vitarka. Within ourselves, we come up with this argument. So acts that cause pain to others are done through this vitarka. We convince ourselves, or caused to be done and approved or approved by us, not approved by anybody else, approved by us, motivated. And how are these things, how do these things come about? It's because of our motivation. It is motivated by greed, anger, infatuation, and they can be of various intensities. It could be mild intensity, moderate intensity, or very high intensity. If I want to speak my grandchildren at the PYS time, that is a very high intensity. That becomes my priority, because my grandchildren, they have sent me a note saying that I want to speak to you at this time, and we don't have the detachment to tell them I cannot speak to you at this time. I'll speak to you an hour and a half or 2 hours later or prior to that. We don't have that kind of detachment. We don't have that kind of vidya. So that is why we have to oppose by this thought of the fruit of unending misery and ignorance. So if we keep on doing this is what we will get. The result of all that will be unending misery in our life, and we'll continue to stay in that ignorance. And we know what the ignorance has brought to us in the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, whatever. However long we have lived, we know this ignorance has brought us so much of pain and suffering. So, how do we get over all these things? And that's what we are going to see. We saw that we can get over all these things through yama and niyama. And because we are all people so much used to, we are still sadharana, right? So which means that we are still in that kritartham, pratinashtam api anashtam. That is what we are seeing in everything. Tad anya sadharanatvat. That's the sutra. So Patanjali Muni has to satisfy us. So he is giving all these things. He says, if you are in ahimsa, when you are fully established in ahimsa, that is not wantonly hurting others. So in its presence, enmity is given up. Complete enmity is gone. Nobody will be, no one will oppose you. Nobody will be your enemy. They will all be friends with you. Even enemies may turn friends. Then the second one. So we know ahimsa, satya, asteya, it goes on like that, right? So one by one he is listing out. If you are in satya pratishtayam kriya phala shrayatvam. So established in truthfulness, the fruit of all this, the actions, whatever you do, are very effective, supported in fruitfulness because you are unbiased, you are truthful. So there is unbiased, there is no bias in what you say, do, and act. Asteya, when you're established in non-stealing, all kinds of precious things. That's what is gems come, enter us. People come and give it to us, not for us to enjoy, but they come and give it to us to hold it in custody for them. When they are going to be out of town, they will come and give it to us. They will trust us. It is not only when you say precious things, it doesn't only have to be materialistic things. It can be with people. It can be with their own pets, any kind of thing for that matter. Their property, etc. Brahmacharya pratishtayam virya labha. We know brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means the curiosity to learn. When you are fully established in that curiosity to learn, vigor, great energy or enthusiasm is gained. This is actually this sutra refers refers to that example that we did in poll 19. I gave that, actually I put up poll 19 as an example for brahmacharya, curiosity to learn. So let's finish this and then we'll come to the poll. The last one, aparigraha. Here he says, when you are fully established or anchored in non-coveting attitude, that is, in being non-possessive, never wants any kind of unnecessary possession, then when we have that attitude, one becomes aware of what life is. Meaning, we begin to understand the reality of life, what is behind everything, all those things we begin to understand. So do you want to go to the poll now or you want to go to the poll later when we get to the discussion on poll 19?
We will go after sutras, sir.
Okay, good. So this is where we stopped last week. So let's see what we have for this week. We'll see starting at Sutra 40. So now he is going to give us, he gave us an explanation and about each and every aspect of yama. That's what we saw last week. And now he is going to give us the various aspects, the various benefits of being in niyama. Because we want to know how will I profit from following yama that we have studied already. Now we will study about niyama. For the first one in niyama is shaucha, cleanliness. So here is the sutra. Shauchat swanga jugupsa paraihi asansargah. Shauchat swanga jugupsa paraihi asansargah. So let's see word by word what it means. Shauchat. Shauchat means cleanliness, because of cleanliness or purification or hygiene. Swa anga. Swanga means swa, two words. Swa anga. Swa is self. Anga is one's body parts. Anga means body parts. Parts are body parts here. Swa anga, one's body parts. Jugupsa has aversion. Be not having any kind of attachment to the body parts. Being having some kind of an aversion to that. Paraya. Paraihi, actually, paraya. With others. Asansarga, not having contact. So, putting all the words together, it means because of cleanliness, physical and spiritual purification, one has aversion for one's parts and contact with others. So let us look at it a little bit in detail. Because of cleanliness, because of this need to be clean, one has aversion for one's own body parts and contact with others. So this at the physical level is at a very low level. This is what we saw. I mean, this is what we see with many people, especially in the Hindu community. We see that with the priests. We see that with many people who are religious or pious without understanding the deeper meaning of cleanliness. We see with the priests especially, even at home, they will want to stay away or maintain the distance with others. They don't want to get too close with others, with the people, with their hosts, or especially with the bhaktas in the temple. The reason being, they feel that if others touch them, there is some kind of a negative impact in their cleanliness, and they have to go and have a shower again, wear new clothes, and come back. This is what happens when during a ceremony they have to use the restroom. They will go use the restroom, and then they will take a bucket of water or something and dunk it on their body, on their head, and then they will come back.
But is this true, Kumarji? Really true? I mean, if it is touched by others, the purification is needed because of their something. What is that? Their something is what? The bad thing will come like that. Is it true?
So that is something we must ponder. So the sutra is not saying physical. He's saying, because he's saying some people have that kind of an understanding, but the deeper information here is the spiritual purification. How my internal vibrations, through my internal vibrations, how I have cleared out all the blockages in my nadis. So at home, there is a small child, and that child comes and I am getting ready to do a puja. So I had a shower, everything. I did my yama and niyama, and I'm ready to do this special puja at home. My grandchild comes and hugs me. And do I have to go and have a shower? It makes no sense to me.
After using a restroom, taking a bath, it's like a hygienic in the sense restroom has a lot of bacteria. You can think about that point of view also.
Yeah, that is true. But these are all things of 300 years back or 500 years back, or actually when this was written, this was 5,000
now
years
also,
back.
like when you're in the restaurant, they write the cook and everybody should wash their hands. In COVID, what we did, we covered ourselves, everything, and then prevent that. So that's
what
how
I'm saying. So the
it
thing
has a
is,
meaning
it
from
cannot. Yes, the thing is, to be clean, to be hygienic is a requirement. But that doesn't mean that in 20 degrees weather that I go and dunk water on my head. That's not possible in this country in winter. So does it mean there are no bacteria in the winter? It is there. Certainly it is there. So what is that is more important is the internal purity. That's what we have to see here. So here he is saying not just at others coming and touching, for one's own body parts, one has aversion. That's what he's saying. So we will see a little bit of an example maybe would probably be good here. So let's see. So here he says in this paragraph here, right in the middle. The lack of cleanliness in the deeper sense refers to blockages in the energy channels and is consistent with tapaha, which we know. So this is the more important part. And he says here, at a lower level of awareness, it is common for long-term practitioners of yoga to observe that there may be one or two impurities, blah, blah, blah. Similarly, the awareness of energy patterns that people carry would want a yogi to move away from people with unwanted vibrations. So, if I am a person who is in the temple, if there are a group of people in the temple who are constantly thinking of and who have negative vibrations in them, what do we mean by negative vibrations? People who are filled with lust, greed, jealousy, blah blah blah, who are who are come there to worship, but constantly looking around to see, oh, this lady is wearing this wonderful sari. Oh, she is wearing this kind of jewelry. Oh, I must also get one. I must find out from where she got this, or somehow I have to uh, steal this from her. These kinds of negative vibrations. So a yogi wants to get away from all that. So that's why they maintain a distance. That's more important. So yeah, when I'm saying yogi, I'm calling the priest should be at that yogi level, not interested in the gratuity that people give. So the awareness of energy patterns that people carry would want a yogi to move away from people with unwanted vibrations. Such awareness comes with shaucha, which in its ultimate siddhi brings the awareness one is not the material body and makes one ready to view the innermost. That is, so I begin to look at the sukshma sharira, the subtle part of us, which is the chitta, our samskaras, which consists of kleshas, karma, and vasanas. So that's what we do. Can somebody mute your, I don't know which one. Would you please mute your microphone and unmute only when you want to talk, please? So this is what we are. And then he said at an even lower level, this idea of associating lack of cleanliness with one's body parts and in physical contact with others can be well understood if one observes traditional priests in a temple. They don't want the slightest physical contact with anyone. Also, if they visit the toilet, they consider it necessary to bathe before coming back to their priestly duties. So, it is not that we are saying anything this is right or wrong. The more important thing is the inner cleanliness. That's what we have to see. So, going back to the sutra here. So, generally, if you go and see many people who have taken sannyasa, not all, some of the people who are in the Himalayas and in very remote places and things like that, even could be in certain small towns and things of that nature. You will see some of these sadhus. I've heard they don't, they may not look very clean externally, but they have worked on themselves and they have cleared out the various energy blockages in their nadis that block the flow of energy in the body. They have worked on that. So with the result, for them, this every day taking shower twice a day is probably not necessary for them. So let us not judge saying this kind of taking shower is not right or whether it is right. What we have to see is both are needed. Yeah, I need to have a but we don't have to be overly attached to those things. So, yeah, I take a shower, but if let my inner cleanliness be there with that inner purification, I will know when there is some negative vibrations around me, I will move away from that.
Kumarji,
That is why when, especially in the Hindu way of living, a person who is going to perform some religious things at home and things like that, he is always in a kind of costume with which you know, and people stay away from him, right? He has worn panchakach, is a special type of wearing the dhoti, and has put a lot of this vibhuti, or he has put namam, all that. So we know just to stay, not to get too close to that person.
Kumarji, like I have a question in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, suppose like you're saying, like move away from the negative people. Suppose we are in any place where we are being invited, and moving away from people is really rude, right? Sometimes when we are talking to people, and we know they have negative thoughts in their mind, but moving away from them will be extremely rude at that place. So is it not like we are doing all these sudra practices and everything? So can't we practice that detachment mentally, like mentally move away from them, but physically be there?
Yes. Yes. See, what he is saying here, we have to see from some of the practices that we see in a temple. There it is all right, correct? For the priest to move away from people who are having negative vibrations, and that's why in many places we have all these barricades. You can go anywhere closer than that. Especially in temples in India, you have, I mean, you are a good 20 feet from the inner sanctum sanctorum and all that. You cannot go. Only the priest can go. Correct?
Yes.
So they have already made those arrangements. It was not like that. If you go to small temple, you can go right up to the sanctum sanctorum. Why in bigger temples? Because then there's so much of crowd, everybody will want to be inside. And how do they decide? Whereas in a smaller temple, in a smaller village, they can kind of evaluate you and probably stop you if you have too much of negative vibrations.
Okay.
So all this comes to how we exercise these choices. So in a public setting, you go to a friend's place and you see the person who is sitting next to you has a lot of negative vibrations or whatever. You cannot just like that stand up and run away. You can't. So you have to be very compassionate, and at the same time be smart enough to use an opportunity to get up. You can say, "Oh, I want to get a cup of water. I'll be right back." And when you come back, don't sit next to them. Sit somewhere else. So use this the divine given intelligence. Okay. The sutra never says that you have to be rude. Clear? Shall we go on?
I can say being like rudely telling them, but if someone is talking to me and immediately I feel a negative energy, and if I go away without
That's what I'm
telling,
saying, guys.
yeah, now I got it.
Immediately exercise caution, exercise that option of moving away from them in a very gentle and compassionate way.
Okay.
We have to use those, we have to have that intelligence. When I say our intelligence, use the divine given intelligence to move away from them in a gentle way, not in abrupt, rude way. Certainly not. And in that 2 or 3 minutes that you are going to sit with them, it's not that all the negative energies will come into you. No, it's not like that. If that's what you're trying to convey to me, it's not like that.
No, no, like I am asking, like we practice this sutras so much, and even for hours I'm with a negative person, I should have my control over my mind to not take that negative energy, right? Like that's what my question. Like, uh, if I go to a common place, I don't know, there are so many people will be there, and everybody's mind have different kind of negative energy. If I move away from one person, there will be another person. If I move away from another person, there will be another. So instead, why can't I make my block in my mind? Okay, I'm going to block this negative energy, and I'm not, I should have some control over my mind, right? To not take in that negative energy and be positive.
Absolutely. What this sutra is saying is, it is giving you guidance. Meaning, wherever possible, do this. Where it is not possible, don't do it. Use your mind. Use your chitta. Use your God-given intelligence. That's all it is saying.
Got it, Kumarji.
I
Hmm?
think
Thank you.
the yoga or Patanjali Yoga Sutra will give you the awareness about yourself, and then to observe the energies coming from outside. So it is up to our discretion to stay or leave under such circumstances to protect one's own sanity and sanctity. Is that correct
No.
interpretation?
Yeah, I mean, Ashwini, you also have to see that, let's say Gayatri has invited some guests home. About 4 or 5 people have come, close relatives or whatever, they have come, or close friends who have come. And then she finds out this negative vibration. She cannot ask them to leave. Neither can Gayatri leave, because she is the host. So she has to put up with them for 3 or 4 hours. So in those situations, these are all situations we are going to face. So we have to use proper judgment,
Okay.
right? So you have to use proper judgment. You cannot just you cannot ask them to leave. Neither can
Right.
you leave. So
Mhm.
so you have, since you have already sensed it, and when you are able to sense the negative vibration, that means you can also prevent those vibrations from affecting you by being very aware. How do we prevent those? Because these people with negative vibrations are going to say things and do things that are going to provoke you. By being aware, you will not react.
Yes.
Got it.
See, finally it is
Yeah.
coming to
Yeah,
finally
that's
it is
what
coming
my
to that reaction, right? Okay. Any other question? You see, somebody has posted something in the chat.
it's Ashwini, I guess.
Oh, you watch.
It is it's the aura actually. The more purified your soul is, you have a very strong aura around you, and that itself repels the person who is not matching with your aura. So priest, if you if you go to a very good temples, especially the Tamilian temples, Skandagiri temple or Subramanya Swami temple, the priests over there, they don't allow you to touch them at all. Kamakshi Pithadhish, they don't even look into your eyes. They give prasadam and they just literally throw it in your you put your hands this way like bhiksha, and they literally from above they throw the prasadam. They don't even look into your eyes. So they say that the energy gets what you say गलत हो जाता है अगर आंखों से भी that energy, that aura around them is so strong that they can feel from a distance. That's why they don't allow anyone to touch them.
I mean, it's not just the question of touching them. Even this throwing, prasad. Do you feel good about it? Does anybody feel good when somebody throws
No,
anything?
that's what, yeah, that's what I was.
No,
They do it for
see,
everybody,
sir.
not only for negative people.
नहीं. अगर suppose he's a very a big sage, बहुत ही how to say, बहुत ही knowledge है, so priest है, so it's understandable, like we don't touch him क्योंकि उनका
No,
मतलब
I'm not saying Rajasri about touching. I'm saying when somebody
touching
throws,
or
they stand about 3-5 feet away, and from there they throw prasad.
yeah,
Do you think it gives a good feeling to whoever is receiving it?
no, it
I
doesn't.
certainly won't feel. I certainly won't feel good about it,
No,
and I
no,
will never go to
me
those
too.
kinds of places.
No, me too. I won't feel.
Wait, hold
But
on,
we understand.
hold on. Where does this come from? This comes from avidya. This comes from avidya.
Yeah.
This is a practice. This is a practice that has come over a period of 100, 200 years. And as the crowd, as the number of people who are coming to the temple increases, it is impossible, practically impossible to give this prasad to each and every one. So they have to distribute quickly. So they find various ways and means to do that. I have no problem with it, but there is a way of doing things. This seems very, very rude to me that somebody keeps throwing.
It is rude.
I've seen this myself. I've seen this myself.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Because
You go to
getting a prasadam.
Balaji. You go to the Balaji temple in Tirupati.
Yeah.
You cannot even stay there for 5 seconds. Constantly somebody is pushing you or shouting it in your ears. Move.
Not if you give more money in their hands. They will make you stay there. I have seen this.
Even then it is about 10 seconds. Instead of 2 seconds, you can stay there for 10 seconds. Not that you can stay there for half an hour or 15 minutes. But this used to be the practice hundreds of years back, when you can go squat in front of the divine, and then you can meditate, you can pray, whatever you want to do, worship, and then you can move. This happens. This you can see in small villages, in your own what we call as family deity, which are small temples in a remote village or whatever. There you have this facility where you can go sit quietly, and you will probably be the only one for that day in the morning. And there will be 1 or 2 other families who are also coming there to do that, to worship for the day, who have taken over the cost for the worship. So you have that facility. When the temple becomes more and popular and becomes more and more, how does a temple become popular? Why is it this constantly I hear this bell ringing, doorbell ringing? Kindly mute your microphone. Unmute it only when you want to speak, and then mute it again. So, how does the temple become popular? It is all man-made. Somebody said, "Oh, I went and prayed there. I got this relief," and then their friends go. This is how it becomes more and more popular. And then this is what we see in some of these popular temples. Hundreds of thousands of people thronging day in and day out. And there can be a better way of handling this, of distributing the prasad. The high priest need not stand there and throw things at the devotees. A person who is highly read, who is in connectivity with the divine, who is connected to the divine, will never do such a thing. That itself shows the avidya of the person.
The Pithadish of Kanchipuram, he does that. So getting a prasad from him itself is a great thing. So You understand what I mean? Same thing with Panduranga. If you go to Maharashtra, you are able to touch his feet. Panduranga के पैर छू सकते हैं, and वो ये छिया छूत का वहाँ पे कुछ नहीं रहता है. But when you come to South Indian temples, जिस शौच का बहुत ज्यादा पाठ करते हैं. Especially the Tamilian temples.
North Indian temples, some of these temples, many temples now, you can go right up to the Sanctum Sanctorum, and you yourself can put the flowers, whatever you have taken on the Sri Murti. See, you have to also understand the various types of worship. So the North Indian worship is different from the South Indian worship. The South Indians felt that this has to be maintained in such a way that only the highly evolved beings are there in the sanctum. Can you say anything wrong with that? Obviously not. Obviously not, because this temple serves thousands of people, and we want that vibrations to remain intact in the Sanctum Sanctorum. So we want to allow only those with excellent vibrations who have done this internal work. I'm not talking about the priests of today. They are probably worse than us. They probably have less connectivity than us. They probably have less cleanliness inside than us. I'm not denying that at all. We are going back 300, 500, 1,000, 2,000 years back. So that's how it all started. So let's move on to next sutra. So we must evaluate everything in a very logical way. Wherever we find that it is not acceptable to me, the way they throw the prasad or they don't let me in, I will avoid going to those places. However great those temples might be, I won't go there. So it is our choice. So if Gayatri invites somebody and she feels a negative vibration, she has to put up with that for the first time. From the next time onwards, she won't invite them. If she invites them again, then Gayatri is obviously a fool.
No, like if I have control, I'm telling, if I have control of my mind, I don't want to get scared of anybody. Like, it's okay. If I wanted to come, they wanted to come, let them come. But I have my control. I will not let the negative energy come to me.
It is not only for you, Gayatri. It is for everybody at home, right?
Okay, now it makes sense.
How can I say that everybody in the house is at the same level as me?
Yes.
It will affect my children. It may affect my husband. If I have elderly at home, it may affect them.
Okay. I got it, Kumarji. Now I can.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next sutra. Any other question? I mean, these are all valid things we have to clear out and understand. Sattva Shuddhi Saumanasya Ekagra Indriya Jaya Atma Darshana Yogya Tvani Cha. Sattva Shuddhi Saumanasya Ekagra Indriya Jaya Atma Darshana Yogyatvani Cha. So let us see word by word. Sattva Shuddhi. Sattva, we know, is a high level of purity. So Shuddhi is purity. So high level of purity. That's what we are saying. Sattva Shuddhi has purity of the Sattva, as in Sattva Guna. Right? Very, very measured thing. Doesn't go up and down. Saumanasya, with balance, peaceful or cheerful mind. That mind which is constant. It doesn't get excited one moment and then it is down the other moment. It's not like that. Always serene. Saumanasya. Ekagra. One pointed. Eka. Eka means one, right? Ekagra means one pointed, focused. Saumanasya ekagra, both words put together is as one-pointed mind with cheerfulness. Indriya, we know, are sense organs. Jaya is victorious or win over. Conquer, those are all the meanings. So Indriya Jaya means one who has control over the senses. Atma, the innermost self, the Purusha. Darshana is view, seeing, experiencing, etc. Yogyatvani becomes eligible. Becomes eligible. Atma Darshana Yogyatvani means becomes eligible to see the Atma or the innermost. Cha is and here. So, in summary, it means one has the purification of sattva or even nature, one-pointed mind with cheerfulness, control over the senses, and becomes eligible to see the innermost entity, which is the Atma, or what we call as the Purusha or that modem, right? When we say see the innermost entity, we are not really talking about the form. When we say see, many of these things, when we say see, especially internally, we mean by that the connectivity to that. That's what we mean. So how do we understand this? Is in relation to the earlier sutra. So by that inner purity, the external purity is also needed. Yes, I need to have a shower. Yes, I needed to have a shower. I wear clean clothes and all that. That's the other parts of hygiene. I brush my teeth. I floss. I have a mouthwash. All that is fine. No problem with that. I comb my hair. I groom myself properly. I wear a good, clean, washed dress. No problem with any of those things. That's all fine. I wear a vibhuti or I wear a namam. Fine, no problem. One has the purification of sattva or even, but by just that sattva nature is not going to come. We see this all the time. What will make a person sattva is who is able to look inwards and do that inner purification, who is involved in that inner purification. One has the purification of sattva or even nature, one-pointed mind with cheerfulness, control over the senses, and becomes eligible to see the innermost entity. So by having this shaucha, both external and internal, this is what will happen to me. I'll have that one-pointed mind, and it will be a very cheerful one-pointed mind, chitta. I'll have control over the senses. When I go to a store, I will only go there to buy what I need. I don't get tempted by all the things that are there in the stores. I still recall the first time I went to a departmental store in the West. For the first time, I was floored. I wanted to buy everything in the store because it was so nicely laid out. I've never seen that. So this, I'm talking 50 years back, 40 years back, when such things were not in India. So 40 and 41 together, if you take them together, the cleanliness this is what the cleanliness will bring. Even if supposing I don't do this inner thing and I keep doing this external cleanliness, wear only clean clothes, and if somebody touches me, I remove it and I go take a shower. This is for you, Madhavi, specifically. So I take shower 3 times a day. I also force others if they go and touch something that they should not be touching. I may force them. So that is not going to bring that inner sanctity, that is not going to bring the sattva in me. Yes, there is a certain level of external cleanliness we have to observe. Any questions before we move on? Okay. Next sutra 42. Santoshat anuttamaha sukha labha. So the next niyama. Shaucha we are saying. Now we are seeing santosha. Santoshat anuttamaha sukha labha. So by being so let us see, santoshat means being or because of contentment or by contentment. Anuttamaha, that which cannot be exceeded, supreme, highest, whatever. Sukha is happiness. Labha is gained. Labha comes from that labha. Anashtam. So, in summary, by contentment, by being contented, what do we gain? We gain supreme happiness. We become supremely happy by remaining contented. So this should not be taken as laziness and not go about one's swadharma. So when one is in swadharma, they will be active, but they will be contented with what they have. I'm not going to compare myself with somebody else. I'm not going to compare myself with my neighbor. I'm not going to compare myself with my cousins, my classmates, my other friends, my colleagues at work. I'm not going to do that. That's the contentment. And that gives you supreme happiness because there are no desires to run after. Okay. Any questions here? Okay, good. 43. Kaya indriya siddhihi ashuddhikshayat tapasah. Kaya indriya siddhihi ashuddhikshayat tapasah. So let's see. Kaya is of the body. Kaya means body. So kaya is of the body. Indriya, we know indriya means of the senses. Siddhihi, the success or accomplishment or occult powers or special abilities, all those things. So kaya indriya siddhihi means mastery or optimization of the body and the senses. Mastery or optimization of the body and the senses. Ashuddhi means, shuddhi means purity, ashuddhi means impurity. Shayat means because of wearing away, weaning away or elimination of or removing, etc. Ashuddhik shayat means by wearing away impurities. Tapasaha is tapas. So this is the third niyama, tapas. Tapas we have already seen earlier in this chapter. We said earlier in this chapter, part of the Kriya Yoga, we saw that. So he's saying, what do I gain by doing tapas? So tapas, by being in tapas, what are we getting? By wearing away impurity. Because in tapas we are clearing out all the impurities. So optimizes or gives perfection to or mastery of the sense organs. So by being in tapas and by clearing out the impurities and burning away or wearing away the impurities, what do we gain? We gain mastery over our sense organs. The sense organs are one way, are in a big way that keeps us attached to the materialistic world. So for detachment to come, that sense organs.
Namaste, Ji.
we must-
Ji, I think Rajshri has her mute removed. So if she can mute it, it'll be good.
Rajashri? Okay.
No sound from my side, actually.
No, can you keep your mic muted, please? And then only when you speak, unmute it. Anyway. So in tapas, this is what we mean by tapas. This is what we are going to gain by being in tapas. That is the control over the sense organs. So the sense organs, the control over the sense organs is vital for us to gain the detachment that we constantly talk about. Everybody asks, how will I get detachment? So you have to get control over your senses. Very easier said than done, but it comes over practice for a long period of time. So we go back to that sutra in chapter 1. Sa tu dirgha kala nairantarya satkara sevito drida bhumihi. Dirgha kala, for a long period of time, nairantarya, uninterrupted, then it becomes firmly established, drida bhumihi. So that's the same thing with any of these yamas and niyamas, long period of time. It's not 1 month, 2 months, it's for years. And then it will become part of us. And then we will continuously do it, whether the body will tell us, both internally and externally, we will know that this is what we have to do. Any questions here? Okay. Swadhyayat ishtadevata samprayoga. Swadhyayat ishtadevata samprayoga. Swadhyayat, by self-study, which includes practice. Study and abhyasa, practice, both. That is swadhyaya. By doing it ourselves, like all these things that we have been doing in the very intensely. Many of you participated yesterday, day before, during the week, especially yesterday, and for people in India today, very intense participation. Ishta Devata, favored or chosen deity. Samprayoga, appropriately used, favorably invoked. So let us see, put everything together. From self-study, from Swadhyaya, one's chosen devata, deity or spiritual being, can be favorably invoked. So if you have a devata is one who is highly evolved. So a highly evolved person can be a devata who is no more. So we have various devatas. Each family may have a different devata. So from self-study, from swadhyaya and practice, the devata can be favorably invoked. So here, when we say favorably invoked, we must be very careful in understanding this. This favorable invocation is not for satisfying material desires. People, please understand. And this is what most people do, and that's why it fails. How much can the devata give? Even if the Devata is willing to give you 1 million requests, it's not enough. You want one more, one more, one more. There's no end to it. So when we say favorably invoke, it must be used for spiritual purposes, for the benefit of humanity, those kinds of things. So I can sit and pray. My next class, I must have students like what I have in this class. Very intelligent, very bright, very involved, very intense. Those kinds of things are good. That's a good prayer. So if the intent of my prayer is, oh, I must have students who will praise me at the end of every class or during the class or at the start of the class, or if they keep praising me every 2 minutes during the class. That's what you see in many places where the guru says one word, then there's a big clap going on. And in some places I've seen they'll play music that the guru has given a punch dialogue, a punch statement, the teacher. You see all this, these are all avidya. Understand this. I'm saying these things for you to understand. Obviously, I'm not going to go and say this to the devotees of or followers of that group, of that movement, but for us to understand this. So, shall we move on to the next one? So this is what Swadhyaya will do. Your self-study will do. How your understanding, as it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, you will be able to invoke your Ishta Devata, your own family deity, your own very close, whatever is very close to you. You will be able to invoke that spiritual being to do some to show some favorable things to you. Not in a self-centered way, but in a very general way. Okay. Any questions here?
Kumar, I have something
Yes.
from 40 to 44. When I see it all together, I have a slightly different take on this. What it says is that, by having a purity of mind, that is in that state, even your body becomes very pure. Your cells become very pure. Your organs become very focused and very strong. So what it means, when it says you don't then touch the body or others, what I take it is, I mean, we people interpret in different way, whether should I touch this person is untouchable, all that will come in. But that is not what I see here. Like, for example, if you are in a fast, you're fasting, next day you don't go and start eating a big feast. You break the fast first first with a liquid, then with some special food. Slowly you bring everything back to normal, right? So in that way, when you are purifying, where as they calls it as a tapas, and burning away everything, even when you are doing meditation, for example, people don't allow you to go and shake people and wake them up. You have to be very gentle. You don't, blast a music. You very gently tell them and wake them up, because they have to come out of that state and also that focused, enhanced, power, or whatever you call it, to back to normal. So that is what it means. I mean, I feel that, especially when it comes to 2.44, where it says, you have extra power, and the tapas and other thing, it says you are perfecting the optimize the organs. So people talk about, enhanced hearing, enhanced everything. So at that kind of a fine-tuned body and mind, then you don't want to touch. I mean, people follow that because they had to also undergo, but normally this doesn't mean that you are doing a puja and walking around and doing all this. You are actually sitting and meditating and getting all these things. At that point of time, then you don't want your own body, you don't like it, or you don't want that to disturb, or others' body to disturb. That's my take.
I mean, interesting, because if you look at the Indian culture, not today, as we were growing up, as I was growing up, 50 years back, 60 years back, this concept of hugging and touching others was very minimal, even at home. Unlike today, when I say today, in the last 30 years, 20, 30 years, as soon as the child comes back, I mean, child, meaning not a 7-year-old or a 5-year-old, I'm talking about 20-year-old child, comes home from college, immediately comes and hugs the mother or the father. Those kinds of things was non-existent. This is not an expression of, this is an expression of attachment, not love. This was never the case in the Hindu community. This is a Western culture, and this is what these sutras are saying. Those kinds of things are not necessary. If you are in tune with life, those things will not matter at all.
So
we have to relearn things. Yes, small children, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, they will come running and hugging. I have seen this 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, these people coming home, and there's a big halabula at home as soon as they enter, as if they have been away for 50 years. They would have been away only for a few hours. Anyway, samadhi siddhihi Ishvara pranidhanat. Samadhi siddhihi Ishvara pranidhanat. So samadhi siddhihi means, samadhi we know, connectivity with the divine. Siddhihi, that's the ability, comes the accomplishment of samadhi. Samadhi siddhihi means comes the accomplishment of samadhi. That is, we are able to get into the state of samadhi, or samadhi is achieved. Ishvara pranidhanat, by or through or because of complete devotion or surrender to God. Only through surrender to God, only through surrender to the divine grace, only through surrender to that unmanifest, only through surrender to that cosmic energy, samadhi is achieved. So that's what that brings us to the end of 45th, the various aspects and definitions of niyamas, and what we get from each one of them, and what they really mean in depth. These are the meaning of the niyama, items of niyama. We saw shaucha, and then santosha, and then tapas, and swadhyaya, and ishvara pranidhana. All these things we have seen, and each one gives us and brings us certain benefits. So by complete surrender to the divine, we get the state, we can enter the state of samadhi. So on that note, any questions?
No questions, but can I add experience?
Yes.
Okay, so every year there are sales, summer sales, pre-Christmas sales. So I would go with my friend to the department store, and she would say, "Okay, let's go and look what wants us to buy." To what? Okay, so I did that. Oh, it was a horror. I was just grabbed by this, by that, by that. Okay. Then soon after that, I booked private lessons in meditation. And after the very first lesson, as I was leaving, the teacher said, "Okay, so now you go out and you see lots of things that desire you. And what will you do?" I said, "I don't know." He says, "You don't react. You don't buy. Go and see and tell me when you come back." My God, that was so difficult. But I tried. I went specially to department store and see if I cannot buy anything. And very soon I could just go in and not buy anything, came home empty-handed, and that made me so happy. Say, wow, such a simple thing. Wow. That's it. That's all I want to say.
So the power of being able to go there and come back. Huh?
Yeah. Yes. That I could resist the power of material things. I had money, no problem, but that was the problem. So I exercise that often. I go to the shop and buy only one thing, what I need. And often I see, what? How come I had a big bag and it's empty, just milk or butter or something. So yeah, I can say it's gave me happiness, a special one. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, we moved into this house 20 years back from another house, and we still have boxes of stuff that we packed in the earlier house. And when we came here, we said, what do we do? Oh, we have a lot of space, so let's put it up. So those have not been opened for 20 years. It is still there.
Mm.
And it is not going to be open for the next 20 years also, you know that.
I have the same, many boxes, never open, and I will have to do something about it. But I don't even want to open it.
I think this phrase, think out of the box, maybe came out of this. You know, we are all boxed people, box everything. Okay. Any other question before I start discussing the poll? No questions? Everyone is very eager to discuss.
How about Amrita Ma, the hugging mother, that once she gives hug to everybody? What about your opinion on that then?
What is that?
The hugging mother, the saint from the South India who comes and she hugs everybody.
Yes.
To give love. So isn't hugging also is not that taking a negative vibrations from others, but giving a positive vibration and love, manifestation of love to others?
It doesn't have to be through hugging. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't have to be through hugging. Love can be transmitted through vibrations. And it doesn't have to be through a physical contact. That's what we are trying here, right?
Yes.
This physical contact is a Western philosophy. It's a Western thought. It's not.
I don't agree with this.
It's not the Eastern
No,
thought.
I don't agree with this. No, Kumarji, I don't agree with this. Eastern or Western.
The Indian thing is only up to a certain age.
Even in India, when elders, they touch the top of the head to pass their energy to the person who is touching their feet or whatever. So it's not only Western, it's Indian also.
I'm talking about hugging.
Hug.
Yes. Please pay attention to what I'm saying.
Okay, if you have gone to this Pandharpur, they hug everyone after uh, seeing. I mean, after touching Panduranga's feet, everyone hugs each other.
See,
they say, like, heart to heart.
See, Rajeshwari, you have to understand. First of all, you have to go and find out how it started. This practice started some time back. Okay, 100 years back, 500 years back, 1,000 years back. We have to go and do that research when it started. If you go back and do that research, you will find one devotee in that ecstasy. What is that ecstasy? He got connected to the divine. And in that bliss, in that happiness, he did not know he is in that bliss. In that bliss, he went and hugged a few people. And then from there it started. I don't know the story. I'm just giving it. I'm just giving it from information that just came. So go and find out. This is the case.
I'm not debating on this, sir. What I mean is, it depends on the strength, the power of your soul, your energy, your the energy within you. It totally depends on the energy within you, the strength of that energy.
The point I was making was, this hugging is not an Indian concept. Exceptions, Pandharpur, I have not been there, so Pandharpur may be an exception. There is one lady in Kerala, some Kerala lady. People stand in lines, not only in India, here when she comes. And in what? In sub-zero temperatures, people stand in the line for 2 hours to get a hug from her.
Her name is Mata
Anandamai. Anandamai. So these are all exceptions. These are all exceptions. So we should not take an exception as the rule. What I am saying is, if she sits there and 5,000 people sitting in that hall, she can transmit her love to everybody without hugging. She can do that. She cannot do that. But sometime earlier, maybe 30, 50, 40, 50 years back, he hugged a few people and then it became a practice. If she doesn't hug people, then people get upset. Because we are so idiotic, we are so stupid. Become, please people, get some vidya, get some understanding in life. Okay, I want to go to the pole. There's hugging and touching. If that's where we are, that's where we will be for the rest of our life. Yeah. So this was with respect to, brahmacharya, right? So this happened last week when last Saturday, Priya was still traveling. She was on the way to India. She was in transit, and she had no concept of time, nothing. That prompted me to put this poll. What or who are the karanas in the above context. So the context is, this is what happened. So she had no concept of, she had no idea of the time in USA or in India, whatever. And since she was in transit, one can understand that. But however, in transit, she suddenly checked the message in WhatsApp, and she found that Ashwini had asked, do we have a class today? Because it was Thanksgiving weekend last week. And it was a holiday weekend. It's a long weekend. And then I immediately answered, yes, we do. So Priya saw that, and then she suddenly remembered, the class starts in about an hour's time. She calculated, she said, and then she joined the class. And in fact, I was really, really pleasantly surprised or shocked that she came in. So how did this happen? If you see, so this goes back to that sutra. In Sutra 2, as part of Kriya Yoga, in chapter 2, he says, Samadhi bhavanartha kleshatanu karana artha cha. Kleshatanu artha cha. Samadhi bhavanartha. That is the why we have come to this world is for the sake of connectivity to the divine. That's why we are here, to stay in connectivity with the divine and to understand klesha tanu karana. Tanu means body. Klesha, we know impurities. We have the 5 kleshas we know. Instrument, karana means instrument. To use the body filled with kleshas to get rid of all this. Using the body as an instrument to get rid of all this. To get rid of the kleshas. That's why we are here. That is the purpose of this birth. Nothing else. Not begetting children, not begetting grandchildren, not building a big house, a huge 5,000 crore property. None of that. Those things happen because of our previous life. But this is why we are here. So the karana there is instrument. Each human being is an instrument. Each human being is an instrument. So I asked, who or what are the instruments? Obviously, many have said above, all of the above. I think that is the major contributors in the voting. All of the above, many people have said, hold on, let me look at the votes. About 12 of them have said all of the above. So, which includes laptop, cell phone, other hardware, all that. So obviously that's not what it is, correct? Instrument here in the sutra refers only to the humans, the living things. So I'm even discounting animals, birds, and all that, the humans. So having understood that sutra correctly, then how many people were involved in this? Ashwini raised the question, I answered, and Priya picked up and joined. So there were 3, not 2. Many have said Ashwini and Kumar, they didn't want to give the credit to Priya. So Priya is also part of it. So I didn't put I intentionally or unintentionally, I avoided Ashwini, Kumar and Priya. So anyway, there are few, about 6 of them chose Ashwini and Kumar. And only one chose Ashwini and Kumar and Ashwini and Priya. But that person also chose laptop, cell phone, and other hardware. All of the above also was chosen. None of the above was, so I'm going to discount that. Thoroughly confused. None of the above. Who was that? Was it Padma? None of the above? Okay, let me look.
Me,
No, not Padma.
me, Madhavi, sir.
Oh, Madhavi. None of the above was Madhavi, for whatever reasons. So, so she was probably playing safe and
Not,
wanting to
sir.
say completely.
No, no, not like that, sir. Suppose if on the previous week, if you declared no Thanksgiving holidays, then definitely Ashwini won't ask that question. Because long weekend, everything is closed. So I thought the Thanksgiving is the main reason that made Ashwini to ask whether do we have class or not.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there were 3 people involved in that conversation. And finally, Priya was able to join the class. So in this, Priya is traveling, brahmacharya, but she has the curiosity to learn.
But I understand, but you said what is the karana for that? So main
Yes.
reason, if there is no Thanksgiving
Not karana,
weekend.
karana is instrument. Karana is instrument, not reason.
Mm-hmm.
Not karana, it is karana. Karana.
Mm-hmm.
Karana is reason. I said karana. See, when I put capital A, it is a long vowel.
Mm-hmm.
You have not understood why I use capital and small letters.
I didn't understand, sir.
Oh, now I have to conduct one class for the nomenclature that I use.
If it is your choice.
Short vowels, it is always in small caps. Long vowels is in uppercase.
Okay.
And in certain cases like N, we have a na and we have a na, right? Karana. So then I will use capital N to differentiate between the soft na and the hard na.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sir.
Similarly, for th, I will use small t. For ta, I will use capital T.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sir.
Any questions here on the poll? It ended quickly. So there were 3 karanas. 3 instruments were there. So give some credit to poor Priya too. So more than there are 2 parts: the brahmacharya part and the karana part.
Don't take the blood pressure medication. Manubhai, don't take the blood pressure medication.
I didn't understand.
No, she is talking to somebody in the home. Check your blood pressure like that.
Okay. So the brahmacharya, because of that curiosity to learn, so things happen for Priya because she's internally somewhere she's thinking, oh, there's a class. I mean, even on Friday, even before she boarded, she must have thought I would be missing the Saturday class, though she did not explicitly state that. So I understood. She told me that she's leaving for India on Friday. I knew there is no way that she's going to be available, connect to the class. But I was really surprised because of all this happened. The brahmacharya in her made her attend the class. So is this clear to everyone? So this virtuous thing, this brahmacharya, it's a virtuous quality. So let us all have mudita. Let us have that happiness. Let us take delight in that virtuous quality of Priya. Instead of saying, oh, it was an accident. And anyway, she was in transit. She didn't have anything else to do. She was looking at messages. So let us have this recognition. Let us be in praise. Let us be in delight of this virtuous quality. Okay. Any other question on that poll? Everyone is clear on that. I also put out a poll yesterday, poll number 20. So I think many of you have not had time to look at it. So although some of you have been very, very active and have arrived at the answer, I will hold off for a few more days, and maybe if possible, we can discuss during the middle of the week. I can put out something, or we can discuss next Saturday. Is that okay with everyone? So let's give, let's give others a chance, because last week there were a lot of messages going back and forth. It's difficult for people who are working to focus on all these messages. So I want to give them enough time to catch up. And then we had this very fierce discussion on learning, which Usha posted. Right? I don't know how many had the time to even read through that. And the post itself is, I think, a good 16 minutes, something like that. It's a long
18
video.
minutes. 18
18
minutes.
minutes. Okay. Thank you. So it's a long video. So see the video. And then at your leisure, see the video. And then you will understand all the discussions that went on. Any other questions? Does anybody need a hint for poll 20? If you need one, message me privately. After you read the question and you need a hint, message me privately. I will give you little by little the hint. I never give the full hint. I give it in 2 or 3 stages, so that you also have the satisfaction of catching it, finding it, discovering it. But for poll 20, I have one answer which is fully complete from PYS perspective, but I'm not going to disclose right now. So that is to put all of you under pressure to come up. Complete, beautifully done. Any other question? Is there anything else? Oh, I forgot about the physics experiment. Correct? The Leaning Tower of Pisa. I forgot that. Nobody remembers? I put out a message yesterday evening. Maybe again, many of you might not have had a chance. So this is based on actually the video that Usha put out on what is the title of that video?
It's how to think like a genius.
How to think like a genius. So,
by Richard Feynman. He's very famous physicist and also excellent teacher. So, I mean, he has the knack of explaining very difficult concepts in a very easy to understand and simple way. I mean, he's very well respected in the subject physics. I don't know how many of you are science students, you will have heard of it, heard of him.
So many are missing. So maybe anyway, the thing is, it is normal to think that if you have a nice heavy steel ball, and then on the other hand you have a soft foam ball in your hand, and you drop them, you go to the rooftop and you drop them, some 10, 15, 20 floors above, you go and you drop them. It is common understanding that they won't reach the ground at the same time, correct? It makes sense, right? The heavy one comes faster, the light one takes time for it to come down. So this is given in that video. So this philosopher and astronomer Galileo, so he thought about this and he said, I must probably conduct one experiment and see if it is really true. And he didn't have modern gadgets at the time, so he chose to go to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And somehow he figured out that wherever he was going to do that, there is very little flow of air to disturb the falling objects. And he took two objects, one quite heavy, the other one quite light. And then he dropped it from the highest level of Leaning Tower of Pisa. And what he observed was shocking to himself. Both of them reached pretty much at the same time. Both objects got to the ground pretty much at the same time. If one took 2 seconds, the other one probably took 1.98 seconds or 1.95 seconds. I'm just making this number up. So he was shocked. So he did it a few times to make sure that the observation is correct. And probably he had other people also around him. There's a big crowd observing this and made sure. So it was established that an object's weight did not matter in how it reached the ground in terms of the time taken. So to travel some 300, 400 feet, it took a steel ball 2 seconds. It took a rubber ball the same amount of time, or very close. So this later on, they had an experiment where once they could once they had the modern gadgets to an extent where they could completely have a vacuum tube, a glass vacuum tube. They constructed a big glass vacuum tube and they dropped a steel ball and they dropped a feather, and both reached the bottom at the same time. So why when we do it outside, then that's how they started thinking, why when we do it outside, if you put a feather, it doesn't come to the ground at the same time as the steel ball, correct? So that's when they figured out it is the resistance of the air that prevents the feather. So the lighter the body is, the resistance of the air is higher. I mean, we can understand that. It resists it. So when that resistance is removed, in a vacuum tube, there is no resistance. That air is gone. There is no resistance of the air. So both objects come to the ground at the same time. So the video goes back. I mean, there is a mathematical thing in this. So the final velocity v, that's what we say, the final velocity v is equal to u plus at. U is the initial velocity, the velocity which you throw, plus A is acceleration, and T is time. So we take an example. We start a car. What is the initial velocity? Initial velocity is 0, right? We are starting the car from sthiti, meaning from stop. So it is 0. And then we accelerate at, let us say, 10 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour. In 1 hour, after 1 hour, we would have gone 10 miles, correct? If you accelerate at 10 miles per hour, in one second, if the acceleration is 10 miles per second, in 1 second, we would have gone 10 miles. If we accelerate the same rate and we go for 5 seconds, we would have gone 50 miles, right? Time is 5 seconds. The acceleration is 10 miles per hour. So it would have gone 50 miles. So this is what I'm saying. The final velocity is initial velocity plus acceleration times the time. That's all. Here, there is no connection to the mass of the object. It's the same thing for a ball that is falling. When I drop, the initial velocity is 0, and then it comes down. Here, the acceleration is the gravity that accelerates it. So it is purely gravity is pulling it. So initial velocity is 0, v equals u plus at, and time is, let us say, 2 seconds. So when it comes down, it is just the pure acceleration, and it is the same amount of acceleration whether it is a feather or a steel ball. So they have to come to the ground at the same time. So scientifically it was proven. So this is because of a different kind of thinking. And that's what is said in not in so many words. He says about this experiment in that video. A few things, because he's a physicist, he says a few things like that. A very interesting video. If you have some science, yes, that's what Usha said. If you have science background, even if you don't have science background, I think there are plenty of things there to understand how to think. So I will set aside that, and how to apply it to what we are studying. That's what is important to us. So there is a situation, a life situation. When a life situation is there, we must have the clarity to understand what is this. See, yesterday I was talking to Priya, and she was asking me some questions about her. She's in India, and about her home and things like that. As I was talking to her, and as she said a few things, it didn't take too long to find out that somebody in her family is having 4 why me's at the same time. 4 why me. With 1 why me itself, it is so difficult, correct? Madhavi? It's
Not
so tough.
me.
Very, very tough. Lavanya is probably here. Lavanya knows. With 1 why me. It's so difficult. This person is having 4 why me's, at least from what we know. It may be more. Other things we don't know. Other aspects of our life we don't. It didn't take long to find out. So immediately we can feel that compassion towards that lady. With 4 why me's, how is she even surviving? So to get this kind of clarity, you have to think. You have to think. That's what that video is all about, how to think differently. If Galileo had not thought about it differently, maybe we would still be thinking that the steel ball and feather will drop at different, it will take more time for the feather to come down in a vacuum, I'm talking about. We may be still thinking about that. Thinking in that way. So the thinking, this pondering, reflection, these words I use always, ponder, reflect. So that's what that does. That makes it to connect with various things, and the clarity comes in about life. So tomorrow there is a situation for any of you in life. You cannot run to somebody else to find the reason. The Patanjali Yoga Sutra is giving you all the tools necessary to find out. But you have to apply. And that's why I say, when I put a poll, I say, give me the sutra. To bring that kind of thinking, to apply the sutra. Somewhere in the message I put out a few days back, I said that my sister Meena is not here. She started learning Veena. And then her teacher told her, and my sister was having some difficulty in playing a note or understanding a particular lyric, how that lyric has become this notes. So her teacher told her, Meena, you have to develop this understanding, where he says, for me, I never see it as music, as lyrics. I see everything as notes, as swaras. In Indian music, we say swara, the notes. He never hears anything as lyrics. He sees everything as swara, as notes. So similarly, when a situation in life comes and you ponder on it, then all the sutras relevant to that should come dancing down in front of you and apply it, and you will be immediately able to apply it, understand it, and then you will go your way. This is what I see. They come dancing down. And this can happen to everybody. This Priya saw yesterday while we were talking. So that's why all these polls, all this insistence that you all, and I have to ask, so remind all of you so many times to even get one yes or no answer. Forget about thinking. You think about so many things. Why can't you take 15-20 minutes, half an hour to think on something that is really needed for your life? Without this kind of thinking and answering the polls, you are not going to develop that thinking. What is the use of going through a course for 1 year, and at the end of it, you are unable to use the sutras? Will you call me every time saying, oh, what sutra should I use? Now I give hints here and there when people are kind of struggling or they are stuck. I give them some hints. But yeah, I understand. Only 4 months, 4.5 months, or 5 months old class, you're having difficulty. I understand, yes. But you have to at least participate. If you don't participate in the poll, or you do the poll and you take the easy way out in some of these polls, inky pinky ponky you do, and you pick something. And that's why I ask, justify. Why am I asking that question? I want to know if you have really understood on the option you have chosen and not picked it at random. And Padma now has become more smart. She says, I don't know.
It's hard to remember all sutras.
She doesn't want her legs to be pulled. She says, I don't know.
it is very hard to remember all these sutras to
Correct.
apply.
Correct. That is why I'm not asking you to remember all the sutras, because mostly if you see, we operate on out of the, so far we have studied 51 plus 45, 96 sutras we have studied. Out of the 96, we are probably referring to about 25 sutras at the most. I mean, that's a lot. I'm not denying that. It's a lot. It's a lot. But that practice. So that's why I say interact with me. If you don't know, if you are stuck, interact with me. Tell me I don't understand. Then I will interact with you. Many people take that kind of a help from me. I give them 1 hint. I give them 2 hints. I give them 3 hints. And then I send them the video saying, hey, watch from here. And then they discover. There is no point in me giving the answers for every poll without you putting in the effort, because that defeats the purpose. Then you don't learn anything. Even if you're wrong, it is okay. In wrong, you're learning that you are wrong, correct? You're learning something. We don't have to be right all the time. Wrong is fine, you learn. Only by making mistakes, we learn. But you must put the effort. So on that note, I want to wind up the class. Any other quick question? It's already 8:45, 8:55. Okay. We're already almost 2 hours into this. Oh. Okay. There are no other questions. I will say I'll bid adieu to everyone. And we'll see you all next Saturday, bright and cheerful, with more questions, I believe. And we will have some light discussions during the week. So this, before I go, this answer on to my question, what was missing in that video was this aspect of divine. And Priya nailed it. One shot, she nailed it. The thing is, we say I understand. Whenever we say I understand, I accept, these are all the times when there is a quick connection with the divine and Rithambara Tatra Prajna. It is the cosmic energy has sent and we have understood. Otherwise, there's no way to understand. Otherwise, there's no way to understand. I've said this many times in the class. Even knowing that 4 times 3 is 12, one day it just stuck in your head. If you ponder, you will see many concepts that you have understood, which you did not understand earlier. Initially, at school, you learn to memorize these multiplication tables without knowing the science behind it, without knowing the methodology behind it. And one day later, you suddenly understand, oh, this is why it is 4 times 3 is 12. That moment is when you have opened yourself and you extended your hand and the divine extended its hand. There was a connection and the prajna came and the information came. And after that, it stays in your memory. And we retrieve from the memory. That's what I'm saying. That understanding comes from there. There is no human intelligence. Everything comes from there. Human intelligence is basically stored information in the memory from where we retrieve. That's all. Everything comes from there. With the stored information, we make all this logical thinking, and then suddenly we find the answer. And that suddenly we find the answer. Again, the divine comes there. That the prajna. So without divine, there is nothing. And it was such a struggle yesterday for me to get that word God. Oh God, what a struggle. And Mohan wrote a message to me, Kumar, I want to admit that the moment this question was posted, Usha said Ishwara. And I said, for Ishwara Sheikh, shut up. It's not that. So I prevented her from posting the message. So I gave my mouth full to Mohan. So that's between us. But so hereafter, Usha, don't listen to Mohan. You have learned the lesson the hard way. So very interesting things. Lots of learning for all of you.
I thought you will say Mohan should now listen to me.
Same thing, right? I said, you don't listen. See, I am still biased to my friend.
I can see that. I can see that.
Motivation is still there. Motivated. Anyways, where is the situation in life where the divine is not there in your life? Tell me. All these pujas, all these not touching things. If I touch the trash can, I have to have a shower. All that went off the window yesterday. That word God could not come. Of what use is all that? I'm not going to name the person. The person knows whom I'm speaking to. Not only me. People around me also, if they touch the trash can, they have to go and have a shower.
Why like that?
Come
You
on,
should
people.
ask.
Come on, people. I mean, I understand washing your hands with soap or water, whatever. Burn some disinfectant. What kind of a punishment in winter, in sub-zero temperature? Go, have a shower, change your clothes, and don't even bring the clothes here. Immediately it should go into the
Laundry.
washer. Come on, people. Get real. The only reality is the divine. On that note, namaste to all of you. See you next time.
Namaste,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.